I love the forest. I love big, shady trees. I love to walk through the forest. I love to sit in the forest and just relax and find rest. Church family, are you finding the rest that you need? I'm not necessarily talking physically, although maybe some of you need physical rest. Make sure you're finding the rest that you need. But I'm really talking about mental rest and soul rest, because we live in a time that it's really hard to find rest. In this pandemic of COVID-19, during the riots and during people who are fighting against our way of life and fighting against the good things that we have, the great things that we have in this country, toppling down statues in the name of in the name of whatever. Man, it is sad to see what is happening in our country, and our country is so divided. But you and I can still find rest for our souls. We can still find rest, and you know where to find it. But I want to take a walk with you in Psalm 62, verses 1 through I think 8 today. Okay, I just want to take a walk with you and to remind us where we find rest for our soul. It says this, Psalm 62, "Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from Him. Truly He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken." If you watch the news lately, you're shaken. If you're watching the headlines and listening to the different reports that are going out, you're shaken. But guess what? We don't have to stay shaken, for God is our rest. He is our refuge. He is our rock and our salvation. Listen to verse 3. "How long will you assault me? Would all of you throw me down, this leaning wall, this tottering fence? Surely they intend to topple me from my lofty place." Absolutely. There are groups of people in our country today that are trying to topple the good things that our country has. They're trying to topple it. But you know what? There's an enemy of your soul. So there's the scene, there's the people, but guess what? The Bible tells us that flesh and blood is not ultimately what we're fighting against. But there's an unseen enemy, the enemy of our soul. He wants to topple you and I. Verse 4 says, "Surely they intend to topple me from my lofty place. They take delight in lies. With their mouths they bless, but in their hearts they curse. Yes, my soul find rest in God. My hope comes from Him. Truly He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in Him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts to Him, for God is our refuge." No matter whether you can get to a forest and sit under a big tree or walk through the forest, or if there's another place that you love to go, if you can't get there, guess what? You can still have rest for your soul, because no matter where you're at, God can meet you there. God can meet you there, and He can give you rest for your soul, for He is our rock. He is the strong place for our feet. No matter what's going on, and with everything that is going on in our world, God is still the strong place, the sure foundation for our feet. He is our rock, and He is our salvation. So church family, make sure that you're talking to Him. Make sure you're crying out to Him. Make sure you're asking Him questions. Even spend some more time in Psalm 62 and talk to God about the truths of what it says. Make sure you're talking to God and listening to God from His Word more than you're listening to the news. If you're just listening to the news, you will be shaken. Don't expect to have, your anxiety taken away if you're only listening to the news. Less news, more God. Okay? Church family, I love you. Let's find rest for our souls in God.